Good morning, all my YouTube folks. It is a very early morning. It's 5:35 a.m. I'm over at the local hotspot. Of course, the music's kind of on the loud side. They turn it up in the morning, so hopefully you can hear me okay. This is just sort of an update video about. I got a call from my recruiter yesterday about this job that I've been talking about, and the conversation was a little bit on the discouraging side. On the discouraging side in more ways than one. They seem to be pretty stingy with time off during the first year. As a lot of you know, I'm not originally from the DFW area. I have family in the Rio Grande Valley where I'm originally from that I kind of have been neglectful in going to see. My grandfather is not the youngest guy in the world, and I'd really like to see him a few more times, maybe. But it seems like they offer no PTO within the first year. I'm not necessarily sure that means I can't get, unpaid time off or anything like that. But they are also, of course, big sticklers on attendance, and you have to be careful with unpaid time off kind of counting against you, even if you've arranged it. The other thing that was a little bit discouraging is just kind of based on the language and conversation. It seems to me like, for lack of a better term right at the moment, you're sort of set up to fail. There are a lot of metrics to meet. It's document processing, but it's a lot like a call center in that, you have a lot of metrics to meet, and then, on top of meeting the metrics, you have to, meet attendance and, everything like that. There's just a number of things about it that, are not exactly ideal, especially when you don't live close. And of course, there are a lot of reasons that the primary company might not want to take you on permanently. A lot transfers to them at that point. For the initial 18 months I'm working, I belong to the temp agency, and they're paying my benefits and, my insurance and stuff like that. I say paying, but what I mean is, I'm probably paying at a discount, and you know how it works. So if you kind of look up reviews for the job, it's almost as though they try and just avoid moving people to perm. This is like a big problem if, you're kind of needing a job. The other thing this kind of leads you to is, what do you do with your money? Because if you could be, and Texas is an at-will state anyway, so you can always just be let go. But if you could technically be, just let go at any time, then it really affects what you can do with your money. I've talked about wanting to start my company a little bit, but can I realistically do that if in a year I'm not going to have a job and another job might be difficult to find? It seems like the thing I have to do is just save the majority of my money, which most of us probably think that's what you should do anyway. But with, 76% of Americans, 80% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, I'm probably going to be in that situation too. So it's just actually I kind of, if I'm honest with all you guys, it's kind of very nerve wracking because it's like, you know, what's going to happen tomorrow with this whole thing. I'm not. I'm not really trying to complain. I just want to make that clear. But I am saying that there are a few things sticking in my craw about this. Um, I do have one or two relatives that started at a temp job, and they wound up going permanent. They're still working there, 15, 20 years later. Um, so I do realize that it can work out. Um, and as I've said, the distance is a big um, problem for me. Um, I like to be closer to work because the farther away from work you are, the more it's costing you to work that job. So, you know, an $18 an hour job with a 2 hour commute every day, it's like it's costing you $6 an hour to work that job. Um, that really takes what you're making hourly down. Um, it's better than making nothing, and you do still get the whole amount in your bank account. But at some point, you're sitting there going, I'm given 200 and something hours to work every month, and they're only paying me for 160. Um, a lot of Americans seem to ignore this or just decide, what are you going to do? I think that might be actually most Americans' biggest problem is, what are you going to do about it? Well, if people are going to have that attitude, there's nothing we're going to do about it. Um, for things to change, enough people generally have to have a problem with it. Um, so, yeah, I'm just not exactly 100% sure how I feel about this whole thing yet. Um, Assuming everything goes well with my, fingerprinting and, background check and everything like that, um, I believe I start 3 weeks from Friday. Um, and I am still inclined to try and find something else, even before then. I've taken a little bit of a break in applying for things simply because I just have to. I've been applying for so much stuff over the last year. I've really honestly approached the point of burnout. Uh, I like I just can't look at my social anymore. I can't, put my job experience down anymore if they've already asked for my resume. Um, it's funny, but this recruiter that I'm working with, she was kind of complaining how in everybody's job history they put down, please review resume. Like, and it's like, yeah, exactly. That, if why are you asking for someone's resume if you're not gonna, utilize it, if you're not gonna look at it? Um, you know, it's really redundant, and it's really frustrating, because it's because of the situation with it. Uh, so yeah, I, I would be inclined to take a closer job, even another retail one that paid like $14 an hour, um, over this huge, far away 18 an hour job. I would probably have to give a lot less free hours to work that way. And if they both netted, say, $12 an hour, I'd be up kinda, because I'd at least be saving, wear and tear and mileage and stuff on my car. On the other hand, this would allow me to get something else on my resume. And being that I'm kind of like aging out of retail in a lot of ways, I have a lot of musculoskeletal issues, and I just am not as capable of, like, stocking 60-pound cases of rice all day as I was when I first started in retail. I have a condition called hyperuricemia that leads to gout. I had gout my first time when I was 25 years old. And I've had it, not every year after that. I've managed to stave it off a lot, but the last couple of years, the strength in my hands has really disappeared a lot and stuff like that. I couldn't unscrew a tight screw yesterday. The screwdriver just kept turning in my hand. Like I almost need another tool to use the tool sometimes. Like I've had to vice grip onto a screwdriver to, make stuff like that work. Now, it's great that I can do stuff like that and get by, but, even though I say I'd take another retail job, it isn't necessarily the most ideal thing. The really frustrating thing is I'm kind of trying to see if another associate of mine wants to work at this place, and here I am kind of questioning it, but at the same time, I haven't made $18 an hour in a long time. Again, it's not going to seem like that because of what I have to put in, but who knows how I'll feel once it shows up in the bank account. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Any advice you guys could weigh in with here would be beneficial. Yeah, I just really would like. I just wish I knew what to do. In my experience, it's like once you get a job, other jobs really start coming in. So, probably once I start working this thing, other jobs will start saying, "Hey, you want to work here?" Left and right. I actually saw the other day that O'Reilly Auto Parts is hiring. I was on their site, and O'Reilly's hiring for a lot of different positions. Even if I worked behind the counter, that would involve being on my feet, all day still. And I find standing is almost harder than walking some. But anyway, that's kind of where I am with things, everybody. Just, trying to still get some content in. I realize it's slowed down, but, that's just the nature of it. I'm doing as much as I can. Please like this video. Leave a comment on what your thoughts are here. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm really trying to grow. And do have a good day. Goemonronin signing out.